So here's sort of a very fundamental way to look at what a programming language does, or how it gets things done. This notion of procedural, object-oriented, or functional programming. Procedural is sort of historically the way you wrote programs. Procedures are like recipes for carrying things out. And object-oriented came afterward, where you're bundling procedures and the data that they operate on together. We more or less assume you already have been doing at least one of those kinds of programming, if not both of them. But what about functional programming? Aren't procedures functions, so that's nothing new?
Yeah, but the key thing that differentiates functional programming is, well, there are two key things. The first is that in a functional programming language, we treat functions as first-class objects. We can, and I mean objects kind of in the same sense that object-oriented is meaning, but kind of not. And so in a functional programming language, you can pass a function as a parameter to another function, or you can return a function from a function. And these are both really useful things to have. You can do stuff easier that you can't do without being able to do that.
Can I try to take the second thing that makes functional programming different?
Yep.
So the other difference is that in functional programming, you're not modifying state. So you actually want to think of what you're doing as compositing mathematical functions, where functions have inputs and they have outputs, but they don't modify things. So it's a really different way of thinking about getting your work done.
And that functionality is the key thing that's made functional programming languages become extra popular recently, because today we have these silly multi-core processors.
That's your research area, isn't it?
It is. And with multi-core processors, you want to be able to have two processors do things at the same time, and it would be nice to do things at the same time with the same data. And if you know the data is never going to change, then the two processors can read that and not worry about the other one writing to it and screwing everything up.